Welcome back to Washington Watch. Joseph Backholm sitting in for Tony today. So glad that you are with us. For the past year, worship leader Sean Feucht has led the Let Us Worship movement in cities all across the nation, protesting the government's discriminatory lockdowns against the church by bringing people back together to worship. Today, hundreds of thousands of worshipers have joined Let Us Worship movement across more than 50 cities. And with me now to talk about the movement is the man behind it, Sean Feucht.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
There he is. We've got him.
Awesome.
Okay, awesome, Sean.
Good to be on here. Good to be on here with you guys.
We are so glad to have you. Now tell us how this started and what it was that led you to start this movement around the country.
Well, I've spent the last 20 years really investing and worshiping with the persecuted church around the world. I've been in, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, North Korea, several nations. It's a big part of our heart is to take worship into the darkest places, and didn't really never imagined in my lifetime that 2020 would happen and that we would be faced with what we were in our own nation. And so, in California, our governor said, you can no longer sing in church. We had the most restrictive state in America. And a lot of churches were complying. And I just felt like, I had all this history of what I've learned with the persecuted church, that it was time to rise up. And so we had a spontaneous gathering on July 9th on the Golden Gate Bridge within 24 hours notice, and 400 people showed up, and the presence of God showed up, and courage was there. And we began to unite as the church. And then the next day we were in Huntington Beach, and 1,000 people showed up on the beach. And here we are 87 cities later, and a move of God has been taking place across America.
Well, we are so thankful for your courage and your leadership and the way you have responded to this, because, taking the light into the darkness is exactly what I think the church needs to do. And so many of us have been conflicted about the right way to respond to this. But let me just tell you, your response has been encouraging to so many. And I know you know that, but I want you to hear it again. But tell us, what kind of response have you been getting, not only at the events, but from the church broadly? Has it been totally supportive, largely supportive, a mix? What are you getting from the church?
Yeah, I think it's a mix. I think that there's been a lot of resistance in different places, not only from Antifa or BLM activists or Satanists. We've had all that, but we've had a lot of resistance from the church, which is just wild to me. Now, as states have started to reopen and really, we've shifted, not even just standing for, the First Amendment or religious liberties, which we've always done. Now we're seeing God show up with revival. We're seeing people with suicide, like last night in North Georgia, a guy that was going to blow his brains out on the parking lot close to where we were, gave his life to Jesus, got delivered, got baptized, got set free, and got plugged into with local church leaders. And that kind of thing's happening every city we go to. So yes, we're taking a stand for our First Amendment, and religious liberties rights, but we're also seeing the Lord respond to our courage with miracles, with signs and wonders, with salvation, with healing. And, that the church seeing that every day from our feed and from our news, it's really quieted a lot of people. Although there still are some people angry that, how dare you gather outside and worship in the open air without masks, which is just mind-boggling. But God's moving in spite of it all, and I think the reaction has been mixed, especially in the beginning. Now I feel like we have a lot more support as it's things have started to open up.
Are you having any difficulty with local governments as you do this?
Oh yeah, I have a court order to show up in Arizona later this month. We've had mayors in New Orleans and Nashville and other places do contact tracing on people that attended. We have been lambasted by the liberal press, by the media, by governors. There's a whole set of laws that Gavin Newsom in California released, and the senators call them the Sean Feucht laws. Those are the ones that the some of the most restrictive gatherings that they felt like were aimed at targeting our movement. And so, yeah, we've run into a lot of persecution, and a lot, we've butted heads with a lot of those mayors and tyrannical government leaders.
Now, have you seen any evidence that you're causing a problem and making people sick?
In 87 cities, we don't have one single, case that's been, linked back to our gatherings. The follow the science people should know that, though. When you're outside and you can spread out, and I mean, it's really, really hard to catch a virus, in that dynamic. But they're not really following the science. We've seen that.
Now, Sean, I understand that you've got an event coming up in Baton Rouge shortly. Is that right? Can you tell people about it?
Yeah, Baton Rouge, we're so excited. We have secured the most incredible venue in the state of Louisiana, the state capitol steps. We'll be gathering together there next Sunday night, I believe, and it is going to be a powerful time. You do not want to miss it.
Sean Feucht, Let Us Worship Movement. We are so thankful for you, for all you're doing, and thank you again for joining us today on the program.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. We'll see you there.